We all know the earth is full of water, but there is much more water on earth than the blue spots you see on pictures of the earth. What we see on the surface of the earth is called surface water, such as water that flows into every lake, pond, river and ocean. But there is more water below the ground called groundwater. Groundwater is stored in small spaces between rocks, soil and sediments. This groundwater has been stored underground for a long time. Let's say that the first underground water table found while digging the soil is called subsoil water table. Here the soil is completely wet or waterlogged. That's why the zone is called saturated zone. The portion above the groundwater table where is only dry soil is called the unsaturated zone. To understand how water goes below the surface, we first need to understand the water cycle. Some of the rainwater is absorbed by the plants. Some of the water flows over the soil and enters rivers and oceans. Some seeps slowly underground and some water accumulates above the ground, which eventually evaporates. The water that enters the ground continues to seep down until it reaches the groundwater table. And after reaching the groundwater table, the water is stored there for a long time. At many depths, there are aquifers that have been stored for thousands of years. Groundwater is not always stored under the ground, but sometimes exposed above the surface when soil is dug up to the groundwater table. The water table comes out above the ground, then it is seen as the above ground water table. When that water dries up, it is refilled by groundwater, thus gradually raising the water level of above ground water storage structures. Groundwater can often flow from steep and elevated areas in the form of springs to the surface of the soil. Surface water can also seep into the ground when surface water flows over the groundwater table, at that time slowly seeping into the below ground and increasing the water level into the groundwater reservoir. Another way water is extracted from the soil is by humans. While rainwater is needed for farming, it's not always reliable. To make up for this, people often extract groundwater using wells and tube wells. Most irrigation water comes from these underground sources. However, this heavy reliance on groundwater is gradually depleting its reserves. In India, a large amount of groundwater is used in various fields throughout the year. This groundwater storage can be increased by rain and surface water infiltration. Excessive withdrawal can deplete them faster than they can recharge. In fact, it can take up to 100 years for groundwater reserves to fully recover. Therefore, it is better to use the underground water storage as per the need rather than waste it unnecessarily.